let's start.
What do we
Didn't
have
we?
today? Of course we did. Of course we did. Of course we did. Of course we did.
But I mean, officially, like with the quote of the day. Let's see.
Got it. Okay.
So today, the quote of the day is: "The dream shows the inner truth and reality of the patient as it really is, not as I conjecture it to be, and not as he would like it to be, but as it is." This is a quote from Carl Jung.
I love Carl Jung.
Yeah. Carl Jung is
Never heard of it.
a psychologist.
I'm kidding.
He's a
Sorry.
psychologist.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I hope that I will study a lot from him since I'm going to start psychology in August.
You're going to start psychology in
Yes.
August.
Yeah.
Nice.
I passed the test.
You passed the test.
Yep.
Man.
That's good. Congrats. Very
Great, man.
nice.
Yeah. Bro.
So, yeah. So you can bring this topic into one of your first classes.
Oh, I hope so.
Topics about dreams. Yeah. So I thought this was interesting that because in my personal belief, I don't think dreams have a lot
of meaning.
A lot of meaning. They can sometimes, let's say, show that let's say if you're kind of stressed and anxious about something, you're probably going to dream about that specific thing. But sometimes you have those kind of dreams that are very weird, nonsense. And it's like, okay, what's the meaning of this? To me, they don't have any meaning. But according to Carl Jung and this quote of his, he believes that they carry a very strong truth about yourself, about you, about who you are, something deep in your unconscious mind.
Not only the subconscious mind, but also the collective subconscious mind.
The collective.
Because he thought one of his theories was a collective, how do you say, in a collective idea, like some profound things. Like snakes, generally speaking, means bad things across cultures. So depending on what you dream about and how you dream it, culturally speaking, also like the patterns of shapes, it resembles throughout all different types of people throughout the world. So it's actually kind of interesting to see how, some things that we commonly know here in Brazil is probably the same thing like somewhere in, I don't know, Mongolia, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting. I mean, in my case, I don't have like weird dreams. And that's fucked up because I have so realistic dreams that it seems real. And lately, I've dreamed about working. So it's kind of like I've been working like 24 hours. I'm like, fuck, I can't take a fucking break. I'm working on my sleep.
I've been like that lately too.
Yeah.
Because I've been working every day, non-stop.
And it seems like a normal day in my dreams. I'm like, fuck again. Yeah.
But do you actually remember the dreams? Like after, depending on the dream, you can kind of remember.
I don't want to remember that shit. I want to forget that shit, man.
Man, I don't remember, and I feel really pissed about it. Sometimes when I have a dream, for example, and I wake up, and then I know that I don't usually remember, and then I wake my wife up, honey, sweet, I gotta tell you something. What? I gotta tell you something because you need to tell me later because I will not gonna remember.
Cool.
Yeah, and then I tell her, and then she forgets.
That's actually a good idea. I'm gonna start doing that.
Yeah, man, but she forgets anyway because she doesn't care.
If you want to remember your dreams, one advice that people give is to have a journal by your bed.
Yeah.
Okay. And a pen, and then like if you wake up, you write about the dream.
Normally, when I
wake up, you would write something. I don't.
Yeah. Normally, when I like,
I think it would work. It would work.
Or maybe you can get your phone, like the modern version of a diary, a journal. You get your phone and you start recording, like, I dreamed about this and this and that. And then, but you have to be quick.
Yeah.
Because that's actually the fun fact number 1 for today's episode.
Today, everything's
you anticipated, everything's connected. You anticipated the first fact.
This was a canon event.
Yes. Well, you forget 90% of your dreams, and within 5 minutes of waking up, half of your dreams is forgotten. Within 10 minutes, 90% is gone. So,
but
talking to your wife about the dreams as soon as but the thing is, you're gonna wake her up too. So I don't know.
I guess Alex doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
For example, I remember my mom tells me, I don't know. For example, my mom told me something. Oh, I had a dream, and then she tells me her dream. And then I don't get it because I feel, man, am I the only one who doesn't remember things?
But none of your dreams? Or
I don't remember. No, nothing.
At all?
No,
Nothing.
at all. Nothing.
Normally,
Zero.
I don't remember them, but like
Zero.
lately, ever since I started dating, like a lot of the dreams like are really emotionally attached. So I remember them, and it's funny because like when you said about writing something down, normally when I want to remember a dream, I write it on my phone.
I think it would work.
Yeah,
This way. Yeah.
So you text your girlfriend like, "Hey, I
no,
dreamed about you tonight."
I have my personal
Last night.
group in WhatsApp, and I write it down as like dream
Who
of the
doesn't
day.
do that?
Oh, okay.
And then I dream of the day, and I write
To
it
be
down.
honest, I have a lot of personal groups.
With yourself,
Yeah.
like for
Because
varying
different
topics.
subjects. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Different
Cool.
topics. Yeah.
I do that, but I only have two. One is like personal stuff, and the other one is for work stuff.
Right. My case,
It's
a
helpful.
lot of it is just work stuff, but like sometimes I put my dreams on it. it's like whatever.
You could write a book with short stories, short story, or even like record create a new YouTube channel and like tell your
There was
dreams.
this one day that I dreamt
people.
something, and in the same day it happened.
Wow.
That was crazy.
Man.
I didn't want it to happen. It was kind of a nightmare.
Okay.
Man. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if you were planning on doing that, and like maybe you were worried about that, and that's
No,
why you dreamed about
I
it.
was worried about it happening, and then it happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Look.
Sorry.
Since we were talking about this, there is one theory, on the internet that, there's one moment before you sleep that you are getting little by little, you're getting to the level that you are too deep, then we sleep, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Is it the RAM?
Yeah, I don't know the name, but for
rapid
example,
eye
there's one
movement.
theory of some crazy dudes that if you listen to English in this time here before you sleep, you're listening, and then you go to sleep. So you will sleep and listen to English at the same time. And this theory says that you are going to learn English this way, subconsciously.
Really?
Have you ever heard of it? It's serious.
I've heard
I don't
of it.
believe at all, but what do you think?
It seems familiar.
Yeah, have you ever heard of it?
I don't remember hearing it as a theory, but I do remember something some people say that they listen to certain like classes right before they sleep, and like they process it during their subconscious. So I guess it's the same logic.
Yeah, but I think it's kind of, there's one level before you sleep. I don't know the levels
Right.
when you sleep, but there's one before. It wouldn't work for me, of course, because I wouldn't sleep with this crazy noise. But you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Online on YouTube you can find many, like hundreds of videos of that. Learn French in your sleep. Learn
That is
English
correct.
in your
Yeah,
sleep.
that's the
Learn
name. Yeah.
Portuguese, and I'm like, man, that's kind of stupid. I don't know. I've never tried it, but the way you're saying it's like before you are actually asleep. Before
You start before, but you're supposed to sleep, right? You're gonna sleep, and then the audio is gonna.
So that's why people sleep in school.
Yeah.
Those geniuses.
Hey, I gotta learn it better. Okay, I need to sleep.
Are you gonna use that technique in your psychology class?
Of course I will.
Psychology
Of course I will.
course?
I was like, I'm trying to be. This is a scientific experiment. Of course I need to try it out.
Yeah, you have to try it out, man.
When Alex says, he's heard of a theory on the internet, I thought he was gonna say that this is all a dream. This isn't real.
This isn't happening right now.
This is virtual reality.
I don't remember the dude, man, of this. There's one book about it.
Oh, he wrote a book on.
Yeah,
Wow.
There's one book, but I think something that is not too not this way, like too deep, but the way that you mentioned. I think, for example, I think it totally works for me. For example, before sleeping, if I don't know, that's one good time to meditate and pray.
Yeah, that's nice.
I totally believe that before you sleep. So you read something that you want to memorize. For some reason, when it starts the next day, you remember it. I like it, man. Before I sleep, do something that I don't know, I want to memorize.
Cool. Normally, I learn more when my brain is like fresh. Like I just woke up, and I absorb things better. So like if I have to study after a whole day's work, I'm not gonna learn nothing. That doesn't stay with me. I have to keep reading it because I'm just too tired. But before I read it, I learn it, and it's okay.
Yeah.
But after it's just
Makes sense.
I can't do it.
Roger doesn't have these problems.
Roger is a genius.
Any time for me is good, even in my sleep. No, I'm kidding. But I think too early in the morning is not good because I'm still waking up. And late at night, at this time, for example, of the night, of the evening, then it's not going to be also good because I'm going to be tired and I don't know. I'm going to fall asleep.
You're going to be dispersed because you had the whole day concentrating. And then when it's time for you to actually rest, you're like, I'm going to try and concentrate on something else.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna fall asleep because I'm trying to read more, and the only time that I have is in the evening, and then I start reading, and then I fall asleep right after, a few minutes after.
I understand.
So my reading doesn't advance because of that.
Well, maybe his theory means that you need to listen to the book. All right.
Not
read it. You have to listen to the book
in my sleep, and then maybe I'll get it.
Like, oh, that's a good story.
Man, you know what I do? I like, I don't think people should do that, but I do anyway. I don't care. But for example, in the evening, I feel that I'm about to sleep. You know what? I just go to the fridge, get my Coke, or Yepers, or I get my coffee, and then I drink it. Man, it totally works. I feel awake.
Of course, caffeine.
Yeah, it totally works.
System, yeah.
I feel awake.
It totally works. It's like, I'm okay.
I feel alive again. Man, perfect.
But you don't do that every day, right? Only when you
almost
need to
every day.
accomplish
Almost
something.
every day. I do
Really?
that, yeah.
Do you sleep at night?
I do, yeah.
Or maybe you're addicted, and so the amount of caffeine you get, it's not even.
No, I think it works, man. Because when I drink, I feel that my eyes they open. It's a really good feeling. I think I understand the people who do drugs.
You don't understand?
Yeah.
You're an IT guy, of course. Caffeine. You're already used to caffeine, man.
No, if I drink some coffee, I won't sleep for 2 days. I don't drink any coffee.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. Of course, that's okay. It works.
I can't sleep if I drink energy drink. That's like the only thing that gets me like.
Man, I'm too tired, So that thing, coffee, whatever, is gonna help me for 30 minutes. After that, I'm gonna sleep, because I'm too tired.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter. I'm gonna sleep anyway.
That's good. Good for you.
Interesting.
I guess.
Well, fun fact number 2, still in the topic of dreams. If you think about a problem you want solved, you might be able to solve it in your lucid dream, according to a Harvard study. It's kind of what happened to you, right? But the thing is, you didn't want it to happen, but it happened in your dream. Was it a lucid dream? Like, were you aware it was a dream when you were...
Yeah, because of the aesthetics of the dream. Mm-hmm. So it was like because of the angles of what I saw from my perspective. Like I realized it wasn't that real, but what it was happening was something that was occurring during, my daily basis. Yeah. So,
but like in the dream, you were aware.
Yeah, I was aware that it was.
It's so interesting.
Yeah. Have you ever had that kind of dream, a lucid dream? You're dreaming, and then you're dreaming, and then you control. Like, I want to do this, and I want to do that.
I think so.
I want to go to that girl.
But of course, I don't remember. I
remember in high school, I had a dream where I was going to school. And out of nowhere, there was an accident, like, involving my car, where I was, being, how do you say? Yeah, I was going to school with that car. I wasn't driving. And then, like, the accident was actually, like, the car flipped, but I got out of the window. So I flew in the air, and I posed like a superhero. I control that. I control that shit. I was like, damn.
Is this a cartoon? No, we were talking about cartoon here.
Yeah. And I remember that dream because I remember that I planned to, fall like, still. Like I wasn't, that I think that was the only time I remember controlling a dream.
But I think, look, not about your dream, but for example, when you have a problem, I think if you forget it, I don't know, you do something else, I really think that you can find a solution. What do you think? I mean, you were stuck in something. Mm-hmm. I don't know. If you were a student, you were stuck in a college problem there, a math problem. okay, or you were designing something, and then, hey, you know what, man, it's not working. Man, I don't know. I'm gonna stop here. Some people smoke, or go drink water, just go for a walk, man. When you were doing something that you were not thinking about it, and then boom.
Not in dreams,
but not in dreams.
But there was this one time, because I like to write poetry from time to time, and what helps me thinking is actually when I'm in the shower. Like my ideas run wild, and that was,
nice.
In certain showers, I found, some rhyming schemes that,
it's when you're relaxed.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Flow more easily.
There was a scientific explanation that I saw about when you're in the shower and the water is going down on you. Like chemically speaking, there is a chemical reaction that's happening. I don't know what it is, but it actually helps you think. And it's like, I don't know why, but I don't know.
It makes sense.
It does make sense. In my opinion, for me, at least, it's because when I'm relaxed, it can be in the shower, I can be playing with the dogs, doing something, maybe eating,
right,
drinking some water. I don't know what it is. But if I take my mind off the specific problem that I can't solve, like you said, like you're designing and then you're stuck in a problem. So if I stop thinking about it, overthinking, and then go do something else,
you think
then
about
all of a sudden I'm like, oh, why didn't I think of that? And then I can go and solve it.
That's actually pretty common. And not only that, but you remind me of a story of, Michael Jackson, because, he orchestrated on his mind. Like he didn't know how to play any musical instrument, but he can hear it in his mind, the notes, right? So there was this one interview where Michael Jackson said that he was playing like ping pong, and then like out of nowhere came a musical hit, like an instrument and some lyrics, and
wow.
and like he described it in a way that's like music just comes to me, like I'm just like out of nowhere, and it comes to me. I think of it, and it was amazing because it happens often. And in many situations in life, in any type of career, professionally speaking, whatever. And not only that, but like if you're like, in a personal problem, like in a relationship, and then you just think about it, you're doing something else, but you think about it like internally, you find a solution to it.
Because in the back of your mind,
it still goes on. It still goes on.
It's like your brain is processing without you realizing.
Yeah, which is crazy. It's
interesting.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
That's what dreams do, or that's what you can do in dreams. These days that I told you guys that I was working too much every day, I dream about work too, and it's the same thing. I'm like working and like trying to find a solution in my dream, which is horrible because I don't want to dream about work, like you said. I also don't want to dream about work. Yeah. But still, like sometimes it helps. It could be helpful, Yeah. And there was one time that I was climbing, actually, 2 years ago. It was like my first time climbing, and then I was stuck in this problem at the gym. I couldn't finish it, but in my dream, I finished it. But the thing is, I didn't go back the next day
to try it out.
To see if that was gonna work, but. Well, at least in my dream, it worked.
Like in his dream, Rogerio's 6'5" and shit.
Of course, yeah.
Like he had long arms and shit.
Very handsome, and I can do everything.
Very interesting.
But yeah, when I was thinking about this topic about dreams, lucid dreams, I also remembered about
the song.
Sleep paralysis. You guys know what that is? Sleep paralysis.
I think I've heard of it, but you could try to refresh our memory.
Yeah. Okay. It's when you are in that state of sleep, half sleep, and waking up, but it's your mind awakes, but your body doesn't. Your muscles don't work. You try to move,
right?
Maybe you try to speak, and you can't. But you can almost see what's going on around you.
I've gone through that, yeah.
And like, okay, I'm in my room. I have to wake up to go to work or to school, but you can't do anything. You can't wake up, you can't get up. And some people, they say that they feel a kind of pressure in their chest, almost like there's a presence on top of them.
I felt that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Which
felt
is wild. And I felt that too when I was younger.
Oh, I thought it was recently.
No, not recently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But sleep paralysis. Apparently, this is it's not very common. I don't know if you ever had that. You said no.
Yeah,
Or
I
you
don't think
have.
so. I was gonna
You
I was gonna ask you if this is the same thing as the word. You know the word drowsy?
Drowsy.
Do you?
Yeah.
It seems familiar.
Drowsiness.
Yeah.
It seems
Do you
familiar,
know?
but I don't know what
Is this
it
the same or not?
No, it's not the
Okay.
same.
Yeah, that one they were talking about looks.
It's kind of scary. Actually.
Yeah,
It could
a
be
little.
scary. Yeah.
I think
depending
I've
on-
never had that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, according to what I read online, I forgot the percentage, but it's a small percentage of people who have that, and it tends to stop after the 30s, the age of 30s. But it's mostly common in like adolescents and people in their 20s.
Why? Why do people feel that?
I have no idea.
I guess it's the intensity of the brain.
Do you think?
Yeah,
But it's
because-
almost like a disconnection. It's maybe there's an imbalance in your brain, like when you're waking up and the brain forgets to tell your body and your muscles to wake up. So you're conscious, but you're not. You can't move.
I think that's a thing about the brain development is delicate. So people say that our final form in terms of like neurologically speaking is like 25 years old, something like that.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So maybe just try to regulate. Maybe something happens like off balance, and it could happen. And after the 30s, it's already all stable.
Yeah, makes sense.
I think I don't know, but I think not for me, right? Because I'm not a case. I'm an exception. But I think usually when people they watch TV in the evening too much or drink coffee, for example, but not for me.
Not in my case.
Or the phones, I think in a way this tend to, affect the way the person sleeps, Maybe the person sleeps, but it's not a good one. The person doesn't feel relaxed when the person wakes up,
I have when I drink too much or when I eat chocolate before I sleep, I normally don't sleep well.
See? Yeah.
Which is really strange. Like chocolate and alcohol. Not both together, but like
Yeah.
separate.
Well, alcohol makes sense, but chocolate, I never heard that.
Yeah.
I think that's because chocolate, there's caffeine there.
Isn't there
The
caffeine
black
in
chocolate.
chocolate?
Black chocolate, yeah.
That's 70% cocoa.
I think so.
The
black one, yeah.
That's probably the reason, yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's probably the reason. But what you said makes total sense too, because these days if I'm working too intensely in front of the computer, of course, so there's the brightness of the screen,
Yeah.
I can't get a very good night's sleep. I can sleep how many hours, however many hours I sleep normally, but I don't feel rested the next day.
It's interesting.
Yeah. It's probably because of the screen and
Yeah, I think so.
the brain feels like it doesn't shut off because I keep dreaming about work, about whatever I was doing before, and I don't.
It doesn't
relax.
sound good.
I don't relax,
Yeah.
not at all. And fun fact number 3: recurring dreams have themes. For example, confrontations with animals or monsters, physical aggressions, falling, and being chased. That's also another interesting thing about dreams that I found, and I also experienced. Recurring dreams. Dreams that,
In a way, they
same situation.
from time to time they come
From time
back.
to time, they come back. Not necessarily
Had
every
that
day.
too.
It could
It
be
might make sense, man.
today, and
Yeah.
maybe 5 years from now, you
I've
have
had
that
that too.
kind of same dream. With me, it is with cars. I'm driving somewhere, and then I try to hit the brakes, and the freaking car doesn't brake. And then maybe I park somewhere, and I go do something, and then when I go back to my car, where's the freaking car? It's gone. It's stolen. It's a recurring dream that I have, and I
What's
don't
the
know.
point of it?
I have no idea. I think it might be related to something that I might be experiencing, at the time of whatever I'm dreaming.
Maybe fear of getting your car robbed. I think that's valid.
But it's not like I'm worried about the car being robbed or because I'm thinking about that. I think it's something like a deeper meaning maybe, or
Yeah, I guess.
something that I'm going through my day.
be.
Maybe
why don't I
some
get
anxious
that, man?
thoughts. I
I
don't
don't
know
have this.
exactly what it is, but it's
No, because it's
crazy.
like a car, many people put value on it. Maybe car is just a symbolization of,
That's what I thought.
You know,
Maybe it
like-
might be something else.
like maybe you're scared of losing something valuable,
maybe.
right?
Maybe.
And get someone like taking.
See, guys, you gotta watch this. This guy is opening his heart. This is tearing me apart.
It's
He doesn't tear. Come on.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't tell my dream, so I'm opening up
No,
too much.
no, that's not too much. Man.
No, I'm
I mean,
kidding.
maybe what if like someone's like a Carl Jung student? He's like, I know exactly what you're trying
Yeah,
to say.
and then he's gonna like send me a text message. This
like-
is what it means. You need to work on this and this and that.
Man, but I don't know. I think I don't remember if I have ever had this experience, but in a way, I think I believe that, because I think it happens in our normal life, don't you think?
What?
For example, some people, for some reason, repetitive things, they tend to happen with this person, man. There's a person, for example, I don't know, about relationships, for example. This is a good one. The person, maybe the same things happen to her, to him, whatever, It looks like there's something that is not fit. I mean, something's not connected very well. I think in a way, some things, they happen from time to time because we didn't, I don't know, maybe we didn't learn or we didn't complete. I don't know. You got my point?
I believe that. Yeah. I mean, I know people that, go to relationship and have the same experiences.
That is correct.
And then they're like, well, how come, I'm living the same things? Well, maybe it's because you didn't change.
Yeah.
If you're acting the same way, if you're finding interest in the same type of guys, you're going to have the same type of situations. In my case, compared to my first relationship and now, it's like a whole different thing because I'm completely different from what I was. So it's not the same thing. Right, what I'm living now is like it's completely different.
It's not about the other person.
It's about you.
Yeah,
it's about how you view it, how you live it. Because what you bring out of people is based on your, behavior.
I like that one.
Right, so it's like
makes sense.
How Rogerio is to me is different from what Rogerio is to you. How you are to me is how different from Alex's experience. It's what we do that brings out, some qualities and some defaults, some defects. Is it defects?
I think so.
Yeah, defects, from people. It's just how it is.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. And it's good that they are always evolving. You said like, my first relationship was like this and now I'm more experienced or more mature and it's different. So it means that you developed.
The difference is because like in the first relationship, I had no clue about my flaws. Mm-hmm. So I thought to myself, "Oh, I'm a Prince Charming. Like I'm perfect, right?" And then now I'm in the constant state of, I know I'm not perfect, and I have to act on that because I know it. I know many flaws. And I still have more to discover. Yeah,
it's a sign of maturity. That's really good.
I know,
yeah,
right?
indeed. Yeah.
Now I know
Definitely.
I have my flaws, and I have to deal with them. I because I know them, I can control them.
Yeah, you got to work on them, learn.
Yeah. So I can, prevent behaving like a jackass, like constantly, because I know what it's like, how it is, the consequences of it, and that's the part of experience.
Teenagers, man, they think they know it all. They think they know it all. They're smarter than everyone.
Especially in the way you were behaved.
And then you're like, you think you're special. You think that you're better than everybody else.
Nowadays, it's actually
depends, because sometimes, of course, you can either think you're too good
or too
to
bad,
everybody, or too bad. Like you have very low self-esteem, and then
it makes sense.
Those two extremes aren't very good.
But I think it's easier nowadays to be a narcissistic but extremely insecure. Mm-hmm. I think that's common. I think many people are dealing with that. It's easy to be on your own bubble and think that you're like all of potential, but you never did anything. So like you have a really unstable ego. You think you can do things, but you never did it, and your fear of doing it because you're maybe not that perfect, and you don't want to see that. So, I mean, I'm saying from personal experience, that's the majority of things that I didn't do is because of that. It's because I think I can do it, but it's like, I don't want to find out. I don't want to find out I'm gonna fail and be like a complete loser and shit. You don't want to I'm fail. Terrible.
Yeah, that's not very good. You don't want to fail, so you don't want to try.
Yeah.
So you don't fail because you don't try.
Exactly.
But failing is actually part of the process.
It's actually part of the process.
Getting better every day and learning. That's good. Right, guys. Tell us what you think about trying and failing. Yeah. And like this video, subscribe. Don't forget that.
And share the video. Extremely important. If there's something you found interesting and you want to share with someone, just share it. It's easy to do. It's just 2 clicks, maybe 3.
Yeah.
If you want to share it to more, then it's going to be more clicks. But but it's a couple of seconds.
A couple of seconds, yeah. So moving on. I'm not sure if I really prepared for this, but I heard something really interesting that might interest you.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
What doesn't?
What is that?
Do you dream about? Not about, but of. Do you dream of aliens coming to Earth and revealing themselves?
Actually, no. I've never. Sadly, no. I've never had that dream. But I'm not saying.
But I'm not saying dream about aliens. Dream of aliens. Like you wish that aliens will. In reality.
I mean, the only weird dream that I had was I dreamt I was a beaver. So that was the. That was the
weird.
A beaver.
That's why I said I think we gotta stop here because we are sharing too much.
That's not too much. That's
we are sharing too much.
That is a valid dream.
It was a beaver, man.
If there's a psychologist watching, please interpret our dreams because I'm very curious now to know what it is.
It was like a world where like us, it was not just me. It was everyone around me. It was also beavers.
Really?
Really, yeah.
That was like a multiverse, and you were in an alternate reality.
Yes, it was another dimension. The people were beavers or something like that.
And what was the point? I mean, when you finished the dream,
it was a love story. Alex, I'm playing. I don't know. I don't remember.
There's a lot of love in there, right?
Yeah, of course it is.
Are beavers especially the animals who build dams in rivers? Is it that kind of animal?
Actually, I know the word in Portuguese, but I have no clue what's the translation. So I just said beaver because it's kind of familiar.
You look like got it.
Yeah.
All right.
But the term is capybara.
Oh.
But I don't know what it is.
No, it's capybara. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Correct. Yeah, I think so. Capybara.
You're right, man. Because
actually, I saw. No, go ahead, please.
No. I was gonna say it's correct because there's one programming language with this name.
Really?
Yeah, but usually we say capybara. Yeah.
Okay.
It's there's
capybara.
one.
Capybara.
I did not know.
When was it? When did you dream about being a
It was
capybara?
Actually a couple of weeks ago.
A couple of weeks ago.
It was actually really recent. Yeah.
Okay, because I saw a few days ago. I think it was last week. I saw something online that said that the term or the animal capybara, there was a surge on the internet of people searching that name, showing interest in the animal all around the globe.
Out of nowhere.
Really?
Since 2000, I think it's been about 2 or 3 years that there was like this spike,
Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. I don't know why exactly, but like in the whole...
because they're
maybe
cool.
not in the whole world, but many countries, like in the total of
cool,
searches.
They're cool.
Google, yeah. They're cool, yeah.
Yeah.
And in Brazil, of course, we had that story with the Capybara Filó. Remember, there's this guy, he lives in the Amazon.
Oh, he had a pet capybara.
Yeah, sort of pet. Like he was raising this animal and feeding it and taking pictures, showing it online.
What is the end of the story?
But the agency, like the environmental agency in Brazil, said no, you can't do that. Like you need to.
Like it was kind of like illegal to have.
Illegal to have it as a pet. You need to put it back. In nature. But it was already in nature. That's why nobody understood, because this animal was. Even the guy, they live in the jungle. He wasn't raising the capybara in a cage or anything like that.
I didn't get the whole story, but I remember that. I remember that.
Wow.
So there was this big commotion in the country. People are like, "No, you can't take."
And then the government said, "All right, he can stay with the pet." Okay.
He can, yeah, exactly. Even there was a congresswoman from his state. She came up with a petition or something to ask the agency to leave the animal with that guy because he was not doing anything wrong. He was just basically
and that is
taking some pictures.
What a story, man!
Yeah.
What a story.
So it makes sense that you dreamed the whole world. Everybody in the world were capybaras.
No, it was actually interesting because capybaras is a term that a YouTuber that I watch says a lot. When he he plays chess, he watches chess games, and whenever he mess up, he used the term capivaradas.
Oh.
I don't know why he says that, but it's funny.
Okay.
So
it just got stuck with you.
Yeah, not only that, but there's also another YouTuber that does a lot of courses online, about Word, Excel, or programming languages, and he uses the word, capivaras as students.
Mm-hmm. Never heard that.
Yeah,
sounds very weird.
To be honest, it does. So.
Yeah. I think it's if I'm not mistaken, I think he used that term. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Okay,
but let me explain what I meant about the dreaming about aliens. Not dreaming about aliens, dreaming of aliens. There's a difference. Dream about and dream of. Dream about, you're sleeping and you dream about something.
Right.
Dream of is when you wish for something in reality.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why I was saying, do you dream of aliens revealing themselves?
That is not a dream. That's a reality.
That's a reality.
That's a reality.
It doesn't need to be a dream, right?
It doesn't have to.
So you might have heard of this. I'm not sure if he was Air Force or like a Navy guy from the US. He was in a really high ranking in the US force, and he said there's actual evidence of aliens and they are hiding it from Congress and from the White House.
Oh my God.
Did you see that? It was.
I think I saw. It wasn't in Joe Rogan. He says that.
I'm not sure if he went to Joe Rogan. He went to this. He gave an interview on a YouTube channel. Not exactly. It is a channel, but it's a news channel.
Oh, okay.
It's news. I forgot the name of the channel, but he was giving like these details. According to him, he's never seen it in person, but he said in this interview that other officials that had a higher ranking than he had, they confided in him and they told him they've seen it, pieces of aircraft, and also whole aircrafts that were not from Earth. They were not built here. They found these aircraft somewhere. They have it hidden, and some of them even have bodies that are foreign to Earth. They're not. Wow. They're not from Earth. They're alien. And I was like, man,
I think it's cool, man. I think it's cool.
That's Marcelo's.
So that's why I thought.
Who, me?
That's why I was like, Marcelo's gonna like that story.
I love it. It's interesting because I always find it funny how whenever there's like this strange happening, it seems like as if this alien story is about to come. Like all of the secret police come in and like they like clean the whole area. You don't see nothing, like no evidence, nothing. It's like, what are you hiding? Like, why do you have to hide? I don't know. It's like, we are a very small planet compared to the rest of like the universe. What is the deal of us knowing that? Of course, there could be other lives out there. It's like, how is that so like a horror story?
Okay,
it's not.
Do you think so too, Alex? Or you have a hard time believing that there are aliens out there? He doesn't
want you to share his God. He wouldn't feel like the specialist of them all.
I don't like talking about something that I don't know very well, but I mean, I don't know about this topic.
But you don't have any opinions on aliens. But it's just, do you believe in
Is
aliens?
Jesus an alien? I'm like,
I think, man, As far as I know, I wouldn't believe that.
You wouldn't.
Yeah, I don't believe it.
I also find
Typical.
it, but I also find it very hard to believe it.
How?
I know statistically speaking, there are, I don't know, billions,
100% almost. Like 100%.
No, I mean like billions of other planets out there.
Yeah.
Because it counts.
With the same-
we can't even count how
With the
many.
same conditions of life, just like Earth.
But that's the thing. Do they have the same conditions? Because the
Yeah.
conditions on Earth, they're so specific. The right temperature, the right distance from the sun, the right chemicals, the right atmosphere.
And why do you think we're so special?
the right time in space, the right time in history.
Well,
Because let's say that life formed, I don't know, a few billion years from now, maybe Earth would be too close to the sun. Maybe the sun would be going supernova. Would we really survive that? And then I think, okay, I know there are billions and zillions of other planets out there, but the conditions are so specific that I really think we're the only ones that we're alone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have a point. We're all miracles. Except we see miracles every day.
Yeah.
How come it's only here?
Because we're special.
You see my point. It doesn't make sense. Like, oh yeah, it's just like this is the only place out of the whole universe that was like it was in the right place in the right
But if
time.
you don't consider it to be a miracle, life as if just
No, I do.
is sprung up
No, it is a miracle.
out of nowhere,
Of course it is.
out
yeah.
of molecules, or I don't even know how to say, then it's not. It's hard to say that this miracle is very common to happen. I don't know if I was clear.
No, I mean, I'm not saying it's like it's everywhere. I'm not saying it's like, oh, it's all around.
No.
I'm saying that I don't know, like in the other place in the universe could be the same situation, and like we're like the only two lives in the whole galaxy.
Yeah.
It could happen.
But and when you say other lives, do you believe intelligent forms of life or bacteria, like very simple?
No, I mean, if we talk about bacteria, then I'm pretty sure it's going to be everywhere.
Okay.
But we come from bacteria.
Allegedly.
So I guess, I mean, I don't know how evolution works. I mean, it's kind of funny. Like we're like from the same ancestors as the apes. I'm like, what happened to them, right? And how come it had like a mutated? Like what? I don't know. But
because my question is, why did I ask? Because I have a hard time finding that there is intelligent forms of life, and even if there is, I mean,
I don't see any intelligent life form here.
It's hard to find here.
It's hard to find here.
here, so
Yeah, but and even if there is, I heard theories that say the distances are so vast that it's almost impossible for us to communicate.
Yeah.
If we send a signal, I think today, right now, it's still possible, but a few billion years from now, million years, I don't know exactly the number, it's going to be impossible because the universe is expanding at such a rate,
far and far, and
so far that like you send a signal, it's never going to reach this supposed
destination
exactly.
that could have lives and all that.
But I don't find it hard to believe that there's like very simple like bacteria, that kind of life,
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
But still, that I think it's kind of hard to happen.
I mean, life happening is already something that is like mind-boggling. It's something that we don't understand. Like, how did it come to be, and how did it come to change? The way it changed throughout time. Mm-hmm. But I don't neglect the possibility that it could happen like in other galaxies with similar conditions. I'm not saying the same, but especially because nothing is really the same. Like I cannot assume that there's like people that looks just like us in another galaxy. Maybe just they're whole different forms. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you think the world would panic if aliens, given that they exist and they're advanced, intelligent, if they revealed?
I think.
Would we freak out?
I think it's because of religion.
Yeah.
I think the main like chaos would be religion.
Oh, okay.
You know.
You mean like people thinking they are maybe demons or angels, something like that?
Yeah, because think about it. Okay, so if I'm in the Christian wise, you could correct me since you've been raised in the Christian school. I am similar to God's figure. Mm-hmm. So if you see someone that's like completely different from you, well, you don't look like me, so you must be from the devil. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you came to destroy me, right? Especially because we are the intelligent form of Earth. So there's not really who are our predator, only ourselves. If we see another intelligent form, we're going to be like, okay, so what is these guys about? Yeah. We're going to feel a little bit attacked. Like, okay, so what do you know? Yeah. Can we beat you? Yeah. Can we dominate you? Right? Because we don't want no harm. Yeah. Right?
But regardless of religion, I think everybody would feel a little confused and
I would be like, you want to watch
fearful.
I'll be like, want to watch a movie? You want to know the cinema? You want to watch Spider-Man?
Yeah,
the Spider-Man. Best. You don't have that in your universe. Come watch it, right?
Come watch this. Yeah. Crazy. Any thoughts?
Nope.
It's like I don't want to talk about this. I don't want anything to do with aliens.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the topic.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's getting too political.
Yeah. No, but for example, I don't know, something related to this. We were driving home, my wife, and then she asked me something. Then I said, "No, I don't know." And then she asked me something again. "No, I don't know." So that's your only answer. And then, but the thing is that I just say something that I think that I'm sure about it, and that I've studied. Mm-hmm.
No, but just fantasize, Alex. Come on now, you can be playful. Come on, now.
Because I mean, talking about aliens, it's hard to like. Oh, I studied. Because we don't even know.
But look at this. Look at this.
It's only fantasy. It's only fantasy.
So it's only fantasy.
Some people.
So he's not going to agree with that.
Yeah.
It could be fantasy. I don't know.
It could be. It could be real. It couldn't be.
How do I know you're not real? Ooh. Exactly.
I'll punch you in the face and you'll find out. The pain you're gonna feel, you're gonna find out.
Man, remember a video on YouTube? There's a guy that asks, "Hey, can you foresee the future?" And he said, "Yeah." And then he punched him. Did you see this video?
No.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah. And he punched the guy. Well, I think you can't foresee the future.
Oh, so he was challenging someone. I think
there's this video on YouTube.
You told me about that.
Yeah.
Someone told me about that.
Yeah, it's funny. Because he punched the guy, right?
That's a good strategy.
Yeah, because if, he didn't expect that coming, so he can't really foresee.
What if he didn't want to be punched?
Oh my goodness. My goodness. Well, I don't think so.
Maybe he was is it a sado or masochist or something like that? Someone who likes to,
I think it's maso. Mm-hmm. I think it is, yeah.
Oh yeah, the sado is the one who does it to himself.
No, I think sado is the one that likes to see the pain of others, and maso is to himself.
Who likes to feel.
All right. Crazy.
What if that, supposedly guy that likes to see the future?
I don't know. I gotta watch the video again. I don't even know how.
I have to analyze, like psychologically. Man, what if he actually wanted to get punched?
Video. How can I get this video?
Yeah. And last but not least, let's talk about a movie review. Have you guys ever watched 2001: A Space Odyssey by? What? Is there a bug?
No.
Flying? Were you gonna punch me? I'm like, I got scared. But I thought I saw a bug here. That's probably...
I did. A bug flew, but it's alright.
It was just an alien, so...
There was an alien behind you.
He ran away.
Alright, let's do the question again. Have you guys watched 2001: A Space Odyssey?
No, I haven't.
I haven't.
But have you heard of it?
I've heard of it,
Yeah,
but I haven't watched it.
It's a very good movie, man.
I'm not really to watch a lot of films, so there's a lot of movies that I haven't watched out there. Is it a sci-fi?
It is a sci-fi.
Oh, okay.
It's not the first sci-fi, but it's the one that inspired modern sci-fi movies. This movie was made in 1968. It was directed by Stanley Kubrick. I don't know if you guys have heard of that name.
That's a similar name.
It's a famous guy, Stanley Kubrick. You know The Shining?
The what?
The Shining.
I've heard
a
of
movie,
it.
The Shining, with Jack Nicholson.
I do not know.
You don't know? Yeah.
It's famous.
also a good
It's
movie.
famous names, but I haven't watched it.
But anyway, he's a good director. He's very methodical in whatever he's doing, when he's shooting, when he wants the actors to act in a certain way. And I was impressed because I've always heard about this movie too, 2001, A Space Odyssey. But it was a movie made in 1968, 55 years ago. And I was expecting a bad footage, really low quality. But the quality is so good. The special effects are so impressive for the time.
Really?
68, that I was like, man, there's no way this was made in 68. Wow. And it was so good that people, they thought there are theories about the moon landing that was fake.
Yeah.
And then they say Stanley Kubrick, the director of this movie that I'm talking about, he was the one who directed
this moon landing.
The fake moon landing.
Well, actually,
so good was the movie that they were like, okay, he's capable of faking such event.
But wait a minute, it's 1968?
1968.
Wasn't it the same year that was the moon landing?
It was around, I'm not sure exactly what year, but it was around that time.
Okay.
Yeah. But I also heard comments, people commenting about this movie. They were saying sci-fi movies before this one, they would have these themes of space travel, aliens actually, because it's staying the same, subject about aliens.
I didn't know that it was sci-fi already that time.
Yeah, so before this movie, most sci-fi movies would show some kind of aliens that looked like giant monsters, basically invading Earth and killing everybody. And really, really bad special effects is basically someone wearing a costume and I can
imagine.
I'm an alien and I'm here to kill everybody. Kind of trash, And this movie was a mark in this time. It even inspired Star Wars.
I was about to say it probably inspired Star Wars. It did,
because there's these shots that were never made before from spaceships and showing Earth in the background or some other planets and space, the blackness of space. And it's the kind of scene that you've seen in modern movies, in modern scenes. Like whenever there's a space travel, they will show this big spaceship. There's Earth in the background.
Especially on...
It all started there in 2001, Space Odyssey.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah.
They probably made a remake of it, didn't they?
No, I never heard of a remake. If
they did, isn't this one a remake?
No, this is not a remake. But, despite the name 2001, it wasn't made in 2001.
Got it, fine.
Yeah, it was.
I thought it was actually I've heard of the name, but I didn't know that it was a movie from way back in the past.
Way back, yeah, 55 years ago.
Now I want to watch that.
Yeah.
Is it an interesting story, or is it just the visuals is very impressive?
The visuals are impressive, and the story. The story, I don't think it's very easy to understand. You understand in the beginning. I don't know if you want spoilers. This is a 55, but this movie was made 55 years ago. Come on.
I don't know it. Come on now.
But I'm just gonna say very generally. Because it shows the story of humankind. It starts with apes in the beginning, and then it shows the progress of humans. Until until space travel. So, what was I gonna say? So it's almost like he's trying to tell a story of us humans, like what we can become and some things that we should be careful of.
Interesting.
So there is the special effects, the visuals that is very interesting.
And an interesting
that was very impactful to me, but also the story. And Stanley Kubrick, he's kind of known as being a little ambiguous in whatever he's trying to say. So he doesn't make it so clear. Because in the end, I'm not going to say the end, tell you the end. But there is something in the end that you're like, okay, I don't understand what's going on. Like, what is he trying to say? And he never told anybody. Because apparently he gave few interviews during his time. He's already dead, Stanley Kubrick.
I can imagine. Yeah.
But he never explained exactly what
probably.
he was trying to, to tell.
The
so it's
message.
kind of like up to interpretation of certain.
I think that's the beauty of it. I think that's also the same impact that I forgot his name, famous director that directed Pulp Fiction.
Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, Tarantino. Yeah,
Yeah.
he loves making make the audience give meaning to that piece of art, which is respectable.
Yeah. I wanted just briefly play a song from this video, from the movie.
From the movie,
Yeah,
okay.
it's an opening and there's a scene too. I'm not gonna show the scenes because I don't want to spoil.
You just like the sound.
But just the sound, it's a very famous. Let's see if you guys recognize. After the ad.
Is this a sound?
Oh, I can't skip it.
We're not sponsored by Rexona.
Yeah.
Just to be clear.
Does it play?
I cannot hear
Yes.
it.
Okay, it's gonna play right now. Let's see if you guys recognize this.
If you wanna be my lover. Yeah. Wait a minute, don't they use this as like when they show the moon landing? Like always in the montage?
Yeah,
That's from that movie?
it's from that movie.
Wow. Wow, yeah.
Actually, they didn't make this song for the movie. The song was made way before,
Oh, okay.
100 years
okay.
before.
What?
If I'm
Wow,
not
it's
mistaken.
it's classical
It's
music.
a classical music. The composer is Richard Strauss, something like that. And the song is called, in German, Also sprach Zarathustra. Zarathustra. It's the name of a book from
I think Nietzsche?
Nietzsche.
it
Yeah.
Nietzsche?
Also, thus spoke Zarathustra. So this song was inspired on the movie. Not on the movie. It was inspired on the book by Nietzsche.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then
And then
very
this guy,
interesting.
Stanley Kubrick, used this song in his movie.
He knew his shit.
He knew his shit. Yeah.
He knew his shit. Okay, cool. I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect that. Kind of an Easter egg.
Yeah. It's interesting, and I love the song. Just for this song, I think it's worth it to watch the movie.
Cool.
Yeah,
cool.
the visuals are amazing. You're gonna, of course, it's a movie made in 1968. There are some shots that are very long conversations. Some shots they have no conversations. It's
common
just
for
visuals.
the time, yeah. I
So
can
it's
imagine.
like kind of boring. Depending on, you need to be in the spirit to watch it.
I think that
Got
cinema
it.
back then was kind of that. They had really had that type of scene. It was actually pretty common, especially because the old Western theme films, they really had those long dialogues, long visuals, stares, emotion and all that. A friend of mine loves watching them. I never watched it because I think it's boring. But, he says that it's very interesting and all that shit. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it's good to watch those. I decided that I want to watch those old movies, but I do feel they're very different from nowadays movies. Nowadays, they have very many cuts. The dialogues are short. The scenes are short.
It's more
Always
dynamic, it's
changing,
more rapid.
very
speed.
dynamic. And
Yeah.
the old ones,
Yeah.
they have these long conversations, it's almost like, when are they gonna cut to something else?
We're all accustomed to like changes, right?
And this movie is kind of like that too, but it's still, I think it's worth it to watch.
It's how many the duration.
I think it's
1 hour and a half.
no, I think it's more. I think it's around 2. I forgot how many hours.
No, I'm kind of curious about it. I'm gonna type on YouTube best scene.
Best
Yeah, seriously, because I'm not gonna watch
highlights.
it. Yeah, I'm not gonna watch it, so I'm just gonna type best scenes, and then I'm gonna see.
Yeah,
Trailer.
Definitely,
you can do that.
I'll check it out.
And just for the conspiracy section, very briefly, because I know we're over time here. But also, have you guys heard of Planet X?
Planet X.
Planet X.
Nope.
So
No.
some scientists believe there's a 9th planet in the solar system that is messing with the orbits of like the the 8th planet, Neptune. Not that it's messing, but it's almost like, okay, they know that there must be some other planet for the way the orbit is right now, but nobody's ever seen it. We thought it was Pluto, but Pluto is no longer considered a planet. I learned in school when I was a little kid that Pluto was the 9th planet.
Yeah.
But now it's considered a dwarf planet. It's not a planet because I think the surface area is smaller than like Russia, something like that. So it's like so small it can't be considered a planet.
Wow.
But some scientists, they still believe there's this
other planet that we haven't seen yet.
That we haven't seen it, and it's large. It's as large as Jupiter, for example. Very large, a massive 9th planet. But
how
they haven't been able to locate it, even through calculations or just looking, in the telescope.
I think it's kind of because you have to try to send a device that can get to the specific location on the fucking universe. So like I can imagine it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
Especially because I think that this type of science got way better nowadays, especially with the technology that can guide their best tries. So
yeah. There was a guy in Joe Rogan, he was talking about this, and I thought it was interesting. I think it was Jupiter, for example. They didn't look in the sky and say, oh, there's Jupiter. It was almost like they calculated, oh, there must be a planet doing this because of the orbits of the planets. And then they calculated and estimated, okay, it should be right there. And then someone looked and, oh, there it is. There's Jupiter.
Cool.
So it's almost the same thing with Planet X.
Right,
but
cool.
I wonder if there really is this planet, like why haven't they found it yet? Because
maybe it's
nowadays technology is so much more advanced. And I don't understand, but there's also...
Well, what if there's aliens there?
Maybe they don't want to be seen.
There's what if there's
invisible shield?
What if there? It's like Wakanda. It's like you have to hide that shit.
Yeah. But apparently the amount of years it takes for the planet to go around the sun is something like thousands of years. That's probably why it is kind of hard to...
Oh, that
find.
Planet. Wow.
That planet. That's... supposed planet, that a theoretical planet. That's what I mean to say.
Planet
theoretical, because nobody knows for sure. Only if you look and see it, then you have the proof. Okay, so same thing with aliens. We talk about it, but like, how can we be sure? Only when we see it.
So there's
same thing goes with this Planet X. If we see it, then we know for sure.
There's a disturbance on the orbit that people think it's a planet. What if it's not a planet?
Yeah, but everything indicates it's a planet, a massive planet, and this is a conspiracy, I believe, and I'm anxious to know about it. Yeah.
Next season.
Next year.
Conspiracy seeker.
Yes, I love conspiracies. And just to wrap it up, let's read some comments from previous videos.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Is there a comment about I hate something or something?
Not yet.
Okay. Thank you.
I think
I'll write it then. I'll have to write it.
You're gonna write it?
No, I'll play.
Yeah. Well, we didn't have time to get haters yet, and I think we haven't said anything very absurd yet to get some haters. So
yeah, I don't think so.
But then we're doing it wrong.
We're doing it wrong.
It's not fun anymore.
It's not right.
We need to be controversial. We need to get haters. So that's gonna make our channel be very
crushed
alive. And
we don't know.
Yeah.
More comments, the better.
The more comments, the better. I don't believe that, but it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But there's this comment from Arams Tifa. He says, I'm from Nigeria, and I already love the podcast. Keep it coming.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
A lot of love from Nigeria.
Yeah.
God
and
bless
we were
you.
talking about Nigeria last episode. You were talking about it, remember? We talked to something about,
We were.
Oh,
We did.
So
I think I remember the Spider-Man thing.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it was from Nigeria, but I thought I saw the title saying Nigerian Spider-Man, and I thought it was funny.
Okay, yeah. So I thought it was a nice coincidence that we talked about it, and then this guy from Nigeria, yes, he said like, yeah, I'm watching it. It's cool.
Thanks.
There's another comment from Bosco Tseng. He says, This is a high quality video, hands down, which gives you a lot of recommendations of learning English. This is regarding the tips, the advice for English learners.
Oh, cool.
So that was a very nice. Thank you, Bosco, for your comment.
Thank you, Bosco. Keep on watching us, and share with your friends as well that want to learn English, or just not learn it from us. like learn it the wrong way.
Learn the wrong way.
Learn a new dialect.
Yeah, the Brazilian dialect. And the
It's
Brazilian
a new language.
pronunciation.
Oh, my water.
Did you drop your water?
Let me check. Wait. Nope.
No, okay.
It's all right.
It would be funny if someone actually paused the video. It's like, all right, I'll let you.
Yeah.
It's just
check it. We'll be back.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you guys like this video, and please share. We're not teaching. Again, we're not teaching, but we're talking. This is good for English, for listening practice. And that's it. Leave a comment if you like. Click the bell for notification for when your videos are uploaded. And share with your friends. Share
Any
with
suggestions
everybody.
we're accepting, especially because of our producer here, Rogerio. he'll give us the feedback. We also like to watch the comments, so
maybe
keep them coming.
They have an idea. I don't know about something.
Yeah, give an idea if
topic,
there's anything you want to. Any topics, if you want to do like a Q&A session, I don't know, probably could be interesting.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say I don't know. So
yeah, no, we always know his answer.
For me, it's easy.
Yeah.
So, but we have a conspiracy seeker. Whatever you ask.
Exactly. Any parting words, Alex? Besides, I don't know. Anything else?
Guys, thanks a lot. We are so glad. We are so happy to read these comments here, because we are having a lot of fun, and I hope you guys are having fun too, and thanks a lot. So I hope you guys come back, bring more people, please share.
Exactly. Marcelo, any parting words, or you said it all?
Well, I've said it all.
Okay.
I left it on the table already.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. So this is Casting Thoughts. Until next time, peace.